December the 11th, 2021. Guys, it was a rough night for tornadoes throughout the southeast. Possibly in Kentucky, over 100 people may have been killed. You had a large candle factory that got hit, had 110 employees in it, and an Amazon distribution center got took out, and it broke records. I think the main storm was on the ground for 200 miles, and it broke a 100-year record. But a lot of people are hurt. A lot of people have lost their lives. You're looking at current radar. This is 10:10 a.m. Central Time this morning. And what you're looking at, and the reason I'm using this particular combination of images, is there's a thin yellow line, and this is still a problem today, right here, guys. You see that line right through there, and it's going to continue to be a problem. Now, here in central Mississippi, the temperature is getting very close to 59 degrees. Started out in the high 60s this morning at daylight, so it's going down. But that leading edge that we're looking at right here was the trouble last night, and you're still in tornado watch areas. As I was starting the video, and we'll look at it again, there were no tornado warnings at this time, but there are tornado watches and severe thunderstorm watches. So you can see coming up from somewhere in the Meridian, Mississippi area here in Alabama, moving up into northwest Georgia, and that line, if you'll look closely, extends up through the eastern sections of Tennessee. Now, the guys, if it's still warm in your area and you're looking at this section of the southeast, then you're kind of in a dangerous area, especially along this line, because here in central Mississippi, I think the worst storms are over with. We've had rain on and off today, and the temps dropping. It's cloudy, rainy, muddy, and wet. But the air is starting to stabilize somewhat because the temperature, we're already past this collision of the edge of a drop in the Arctic vortex that's swept across the nation, and very warm air that's being pulled up off the Gulf of Mexico. And you can see that in the lighter white and blue images, that moisture combining with this cold air. It's a killer, and we see that, and your heart has to go out to these folks, guys, that lost loved ones last night. I knew it was going to be rough, but I had no idea it would be that bad. But also doing this one, I just want to urge everyone to keep your eyes and ears open, keep your weather radios out. If you're in an area that's been hit, guys, I know there's a lot of power outages through there, tremendous amount of destruction. If you look on Twitter, you can find images and short videos of this nighttime storm. It was devastating to folks, and there's some communities that are basically wiped out. You know, the world changes very quickly. But, again, say prayers for the families, and, well, that's about all you can do. But the main thing is, if you're in one of those areas and you have the ability to help people, then you do it. If they need water, or you can get them some supplies or whatever, they need shelter, go in, find them, take your chainsaw with you. We've been through it here. Open up some roads where medics and ambulances can get into those areas. Whatever you can do to help, do that. Check on folks, and obey any laws. If they've got you, if they don't want you in an area, then don't do that. But do what you can. Start calling people in these areas. But this line now, Alabama through Georgia and Tennessee, it's moving northeast, guys, and you can see the slant on the line. So again, right now, our temps are dropping just behind this in Mississippi. But if you guys are still in this warmer air that you're seeing being pumped up, this thing, it could get violent very quickly. You're going to have to pay attention to it. Now, I want to move to a different satellite image that includes Louisiana and Mississippi, Arkansas, and Texas. You can see this. And that line, guys, we're past that, but we've been getting rain and showers all day, temps dropping somewhat. But here in Mississippi, I didn't want to leave anybody out. In Louisiana, you can see these areas. where this leading edge of the storm is, of the cold front. And it's compressing a lot of moisture in there, so there's flash flood warnings in a lot of places, flash flood watches. But the day, again, we're at 10:15 a.m. now, so we're still in the heating part of the day up till about 3 o'clock. We'll just have to pay attention, see where this front gets before we get any warmer. But again, if you look at the top left corner of this, you can see the colder air moving in, and again, that's compressing between the front and the movement of air coming off the Gulf of Mexico. Very dangerous this time of year. I've noticed my entire life here that sometimes November storms, and we're into December, I realize that, but these late fall storms get very destructive very quickly, and a lot of people get hurt. Now, this is called the derived motion wind, and what you're looking at, the entire U.S., you can see there's moisture coming in on the west coast, which is much needed. Just be careful, watch for mudslides, things like that, but a lot of the reservoirs are at record lows, and any moisture could help at this point. Along the center of the nation, you can see where the cold front is right there, and a lot of the edge of the wind right up that path there. Then in the yellow, coming in from the Gulf, almost a low pressure system setting right here off the Florida coast, and it just continues to spin moisture up through this area. But that's where the collision is occurring here, and right out in the front of this thicker line, you can see it there, we just saw it on radar, is going to be the danger zone. Regardless if you get in heavy storms or not, if you're in a flash flood area, in a low-lying area, pay attention, because it's squeezing a lot of moisture out of at this point. Now, going back to this map, the national map, it has changed since I began the video. We have a tornado warning right here in the Alabama, I guess south central Alabama, right here, guys. Tornado warning right there. But the greater area here was yellow as I was beginning the video, and that's a tornado watch area. So just as those watches were dropping out, here we got a tornado coming up. Let's take a little closer look at this. Now, the local radar is showing the storm south of Montgomery, Alabama. I think it's right here. It's not named, guys, but that is, I think, pretty sure, if you folks know where that's at. And it has crossed the interstate that comes from basically Mobile up to the Montgomery area. So if you're in this particular section, in the Alabama area, pay attention to it. This is that front line we were just watching, and it's changing quickly. I'm going to try to get this uploaded as fast as I can. If you know folks in that area, get in touch with them. Make sure they're not. Make sure that they are aware of what's happening. It's a heads up. Be safe.